The Movies, Films, and Flicks podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/shark. Over 150,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Hello, welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I'm your host, John Loswith. Joining me are my co-hosts, Mark Hoffmeyer.
I'm good at two things: chewing bubblegum and talking about movies where people talk about chewing bubblegum.
Was that
the good news? The good news is that I'm all out of bubblegum, so I'll be able to talk about movies in which people talk about chewing bubblegum, like Kurt Russell and They Live.
Is that your Meryl Streep impression?
Yeah, that was my Meryl Streep doing.
That was Roddy Piper. That's Roddy Piper.
I was trying to get Kurt Russell into another one of our podcasts. I got cocky, guys. I got cocky.
You Roddy Pipered yourself so well that you thought you Kurt Russelled yourself from last week.
You know what I think it was? I think it was just the Meryl Streep accent. And then, I just got I was patting myself on the back, and then I got Kurt and Roddy messed up. Oh, man.
But
I tell you what, though. I'll tell you what, though. I can't picture anybody else but Roddy Piper in They Live.
Really?
I'd love to see Kurt Russell in that role, but I know what you mean. I mean, Roddy Piper, he owned it pretty well with his corn-fed thickness and his street fighting skills.
Like cult classics, they got to have a personality. And actually, Russell does do that in Big Trouble in Little China, blah, blah, blah. But I can't envision a world without Roddy Piper talking about chewing bubblegum.
Right. Well, before I forget, let me also introduce the other co-host, John Levengood.
How's it going, folks? Yep, no special comment. I just kind of got taken away in the Kurt Russell, Roddy Piper-ness of it all.
And just so you guys know, Levengood isn't just the other co-host. We're kind of like the Raptors in Jurassic Park. Like different, but we work together. We fool Australians.
All the time that Hunter was watching the Mark Hoffmeyer Raptor, but the Levengood Raptor was sneaking up behind him. And when he saw that one, I'm the one he looked at when he said, "Clever girl."
And in my head, I'm like, he better not let me down again. Because if you look at that Raptor, he had a bullet wound in him from a prior excursion when you were a couple seconds late.
And then me, all I'm thinking is, Raptor bro, did he just call me a girl?
Wait, okay, I got a quick question. Who would win in the fight? The Raptors from Jurassic Park or Roddy Piper from They Live?
Roddy Piper.
Ooh. Is there a door handle involved?
Would Roddy Piper try to get like
if there's a door handle involved, those Raptors might have him.
Would Roddy Piper try to get the Raptors to wear like the glasses?
But I don't think this is fair though, because his partner and John Carpenter, what is it, Keith David?
Yeah.
The two of them could take the Raptors in 20 seconds and make them put the glasses on. Roddy Piper would need like 7 minutes.
And Keith David has a good strength because he survived at the end of the thing with Kurt Russell.
Yeah, so I think the two of them could really wipe the floors with the Raptors.
It all comes back.
Just to be clear, the Kurt Russell circle of life have just been completed in that conversation.
Man, I don't know how to segue to reader questions from that. I think I'm just gonna bring up reader questions now.
So just jump ship.
Just Kurt Russell and Raptors to reader questions. It's all natural here. All right, guys.
Who's our first reader? I want to know who our one listener is.
Okay. I guess our one listener goes by the name at Squidlips. Squidlips ask, if you three were creatures, monsters, aliens from any movie, who would you be?
I would be the shark from Deep Blue Sea, the one that ate Sam Jackson, because the thing it's probably the coolest monster on the planet because it knew that Sam Jackson was making that speech. It knew it. And it just waited. It waited for Sam to finish the speech. He's like, I'm gonna let him speak. I'm gonna let him rally the troops. He's making this great speech. He's standing by the water. He doesn't care. Sam Jackson finishes with the best line. He gets eaten. It is probably the most gangster move of a shark or any creature in the history of monster cinema.
A total jerk move by the shark, if you think about it. Sam Jackson is just making an inspirational speech, and it's just like, just inspiring the troops. Like, we're gonna make it, and then like the shark is like, nope.
No, you're not.
That was not just the lucky timing of a cartilaginous fish. No, sir. I don't buy it for 1 second.
I could swim backwards too, or I would be that Salacious Crumb from Return of the Jedi, because he just seems to kind of hang out and taunt people all day in this palace and kind of chill and be like.
Remember when they shoot near him and he leaps all the way to the ceiling and he's hanging from the fan or something? Like,
and he goes, "Ooh, Kukanini,
that actually makes me think of what I would pick. I would be the smart gremlin from Gremlins 2. That kind of dilettante, savoir-faire business guy of a gremlin. I'd want to be that one who rallies the other gremlins and tries to organize them for the big escape to get out of that building they were trapped in. I want to be that gremlin.
Dude, that's awesome. I love that.
And can I just say, I don't know why I just thought of this, but the girl gremlin in that, the girl gremlin, remember the girl gremlin?
Yeah.
That had cleavage and lipstick and all that?
Uh-huh.
That gremlin, for some reason, reminds me of Willem Dafoe in drag in the Boondock Saints. Like the face, it looked like that gremlin's face was modeled after Willem Dafoe.
Well, the director of Boondock Saints was a huge fan of Gremlins.
Really?
And that's probably in turn why they cast him as the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
Because he already kind of looks goblinish. Wow. He really does. If you look at him, he looks like he could be like a mischievous imp of some sort from fairy tales.
I'm sure if we look up his IMDb, he has been a mischievous imp in a fairy tale in some film. Wasn't he one of those in Antichrist?
Oh, God. Let's not even get into that movie. You just mentioned that movie, like my heart just sunk down into my intestines. That was one of the most heavy things ever. Who in the world needs like these or what is it? These 50 Shades of Grey movies when we have Lars von Trier just bringing his heavy movies,
just destroying the populace one film at a time.
Yeah, just one crushed soul at a time, one diminished sex drive at a time. He's showing these films to viewers.
Just crushing souls. That's what his business card says. Crushing souls.
All right, so we got the shark from Deep Blue Sea, and we have the smart gremlin from Gremlins 2.
What about you, John?
I don't know. The first thing that comes to mind is the I don't know why. This is kind of a weird choice, but the Sarlacc from Return of the Jedi.
Wait, no, hold on. What exactly? Maybe all the listeners know, but I really don't. Is that pit? The pit that they flew out of? Is that what that is?
Basically, it was just they call it the Sarlacc pit, but it was really a creature with just
like the sand pit that they were gonna walk the plank and jump into the pit with the tentacles.
The pit was actually the creature's mouth, right? And
okay, yeah.
Basically, what it does, what happens is Jabba the Hutt just like feeds the Sarlacc his enemies, as you would do. And if you think about it, it's actually a pretty sweet gig. You just gotta, lay there in the sand like all day, and then like people feed you just food, and it's just wow, that sounds pretty great.
They're out in the middle of the desert; it gets hot, so you gotta cover yourself up in the sand. Like those elephants of the savannah, they know what's up. They cover themselves in the mud.
And you got Jabba feeding you snacks like from time to time. It doesn't sound.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised Jabba's willing to share. I mean, you don't get that big from sharing.
Wait, so that pit, is it a pit? Or like
no, it's a thing. It's a creature's like open mouth.
Yeah. Can it come out of the desert? Can it come out of that?
I don't know, man.
No, they never really go into in depth as far as that goes.
So like how in the old 80s movies, like the old teen 80s movies, like they'll bury one of their friends in the sand and then they leave him, and the weight of the sand means he's trapped. Maybe like in evolutionary history, the first Sarlacc ever was buried in the sand.
Yeah, it was a bunch of
bully Sarlaccs,
and then basically like creating a dog breed, they just kept it. They fed it and kept it there and would breed it, and they just plant them and trap them in the sand in other places.
This is fan fiction 101 right here, guys. Yeah, I am loving this.
It's like, instead of like creating a schnauzer or a pit bull, you create the sand embedded Sarlacc.
Or me, basically.
Like, come on, that thing's huge. It's not going to glide through the sand like one of the Tremors monsters.
Oh, you would it just stays there because it's got the good life. It knows it doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah, he has Jabba bringing him snacks.
Whatever. Okay, so we're going with the shark from Deep Blue Sea, the smart gremlin from Gremlins 2, and the Sarlacc from Return of the Jedi.
That's an interesting mix.
It's a motley crew of monsters there.
I want a graphic novel from Image Comics covering this. I want Frank Miller to write this graphic novel with these three.
And I'll bet it would have to do with like some weird cult worshiping the Sarlacc as their like sacrificial pit. Like they'd live near it and they'd worship it.
Ooh.
They'd have a religion designed around it.
You know what would be the worst? You like somehow don't go into the pit. You're hanging on by like a grappling hook, and the shark from Deep Blue Sea jumps out of the Sarlacc's mouth and eats you.
Oh,
like it was just in there swimming in its bile.
But it waits for you to be like, hey, I'm safe.
it's such a great team up. But what would the smart gremlins be? Smart gremlin would be doing like.
Oh, he'd be getting people into the pit.
Oh yeah, he's the smart one. So,
no, he'd be the cult leader that convinces everybody to sacrifice to the pit.
Yeah, I think I want to see this movie more than the new Star Wars movie coming out later. That just sounds super fun, actually. Okay, so we answered that question very thoroughly, actually, probably more than we needed to. Let's move on to the.
What do you mean? I think we answered that question perfectly.
Let's move on to the next question. At Beer Goggles ask, if you can be an extra in any movie, what movie would it be?
I need a minute. Mark, take it away.
All right,
Don't all jump in at once,
all right,
guys.
so I wouldn't want to be featured in like a really heavy crowd scene because you get lost in the crowd. I would have to say I would like to be in the Royal Tenenbaums during the tennis scene where Richie Tenenbaum is losing to Gandhi. I don't want to be sitting right next to Bill Murray when they cut up to him and Gwyneth Paltrow.
That's a really, really, really specific Wes Anderson extra reference.
You've actually thought of this before.
When I talk about my Wes Anderson extra references, I go deep.
You can write a whole book about it.
I go into the Sarlacc pit looking for extra roles for Wes Anderson films.
All right, what about you, Loving Good? Have you figured out what movie you want to be an extra in?
God, that's just because I love the classic campiness of the movie so much. I'd say I'd want to be an extra during the Salmon Festival scene in 1980s Humanoids from the Deep. Now, I realize I'm really winding back the clock here, so any of you kids who haven't seen Humanoids from the Deep, just trust me, it's very fun. There's a lot of monster makeup, some stupid 80s gore, and you'll see some boobs. I don't know if you care about that thing. But this movie, there's the Salmon Queen, right? It's like a festival that the town has where these humanoids from the deep kind of break out almost on spring break or something. She's wearing her little pageant banner thing that shows that she won the Salmon Queen, and she is wrestling or like beating away one of these humanoids from the deep. And I just want to be one of the people like running by, except I wouldn't run by. I just stop and watch, like while she's fighting. This little girl is fighting this thing. Meanwhile, every other scene in the movie, the humanoids just dilapidate the humans in a second. But the Salmon Queen, she's surviving. She's a fighter. Like I'd be rooting her on.
Nice. That's very heartwarming.
There, it's just the brighter side of the humanoids from the deep.
I've had a couple good extra roles in real life.
Yeah, actually,
I was going to say that I want to be the guy who gets kneed in the balls by the bad guy in The Following in the pilot.
Yeah. That was terrible.
So listeners, Mark is going to explain something. That was Mark. If you saw someone get kneed in the balls in the pilot episode of The Following, that was actually Mark.
Yeah. So in the following episode, I was working it, and they cast these tiny cops, so they needed a bigger cop. So I was working the show, and then they were like, Mark, we need you as a cop. So I got dressed up in a cop, didn't know how to work a handcuff, none of that, knew nothing what to do. The first take, they're like, we want you to run in unhandcuffed, pick him up, carry him out the room, don't block the camera, blah, 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 blah. So the first take, I run in there to pick up James Purefoy, and he's flailing his elbows. I unhandcuff him, his elbow goes out, hits me right in the nuts. I let out this, ugh! And they're like, keep going. And I'm like, ah! And I had to like pick him up. I still had to like pick him up on woozy. So for the next 45 minutes, I had to work with an injury.
Nice. So
But I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger always said, if you don't feel like you're going to throw up, your leg workout isn't intense enough. And that was it for you. That's what that was for you.
But the nut shot wasn't intense enough.
You are a living pumping iron reference.
Can I put that on my business card?
You should put it on your business card.
Why isn't it already on your business card?
Yeah.
Production assistant, comma, walking pumping iron Arnold Schwarzenegger reference.
Nice.
You could be a meme.
Oh, I couldn't. I need it. Start it, John.
I think for me, I don't think there's any specific movie I wanted to be an extra in. There was, okay, you know those, like in every vampire movie, there's always like a rave scene or whatever. They're all like dressed in black leather and like they got like the gothic makeup on. Like I want to be an extra in one of those scenes, but I wouldn't be wearing like, I'd be wearing like normal my normal wardrobe. I wouldn't be wearing like the black leather. I would just be like, I would stick out like a sore thumb. I just thought that would be awesome.
You're like, the new vampire, or like the really old vampire that just really isn't hip to it yet.
I could be like the new vampire. I could be like the rookie or the trainee. I'm just like, okay, like this is your first day on the job. Like this is what you do every night. Just go to a rave. And it's just like, really?
And you're just looking wide-eyed.
You know, it's just like, is this really what being a vampire is all about? Just raving?
How do we pay rent? How do we, do we have jobs? Like, is there how do we pay for these leather jackets that we get blooded on every night? Do we take them to dry cleaners?
How do you pay for this laser light show? You do this every night?
There's so many questions.
It's like, just go with it. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Man. Oh, man.
I love it.
All right, guys. That does it for reader questions. Actually, we hope you enjoyed that. I think we did a pretty good job answering those questions. Those questions have been answered.
Yeah, we went above and beyond, I think. We brought our A plus Sarlacc pit game.
I brought my B horror game.
Yeah, you did. Oh, my gosh. I brought my pat on the back, talk about my prior experiences game.
Right.
I brought my sequels that shouldn't have been made, but we're happy they were made game.
Name dropping.
I brought my C game, as always. All right, guys. Well, this podcast isn't just about Kurt Russell and vampire raves and Sarlacc pits. It's also about movies. I know, Levingood, you wanted to talk about a movie you saw recently, right?
That's right. I wanted to talk about Ty West's movie, The Sacrament.
The Sacrament. Tell me about The Sacrament real quick.
Well, I mean, the Sacrament, I don't know. I just want to pause. Before even mentioning The Sacrament, if any of you all have seen the poster for The Sacrament. Now, I didn't know anything about this movie before I watched it. I really didn't. I just knew it involved a cult. And the movie is actually based on a real event. And they don't reveal that during the movie at any point. I just know it's based on a real event now. And on the cover of the movie, it said, "Live as one, die as one."
Ugh.
It says it on the movie poster. If you buy the DVD, you see that on the DVD. And I just had to wonder, like, did Ty West seriously just sit back and let the marketers, like, put a spoiler on his movie poster? Like, I didn't know it was going to happen. Okay, so The Sacrament.
Yeah, there's zero suspense because of that.
I'd actually like, even though this is like my baby, I really wanted to talk about this today. I only watched this movie because Mark watched it, and I saw his review, and I was curious, and he's a pretty strong Ty West supporter. So actually, Mark, would you like to give a quick synopsis of the movie?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I'm in the Ty West camp. I love House of the Devil. I think he built wonderful suspense, and it paid off. It was a slow burn with a shot that just wrecks your soul. And then he did The Innkeepers, which has Sarah Paxton and, oh man, he's from Cheap Thrills, and he's so good, and I can't remember his name. But it has these two incredibly likable characters, and they're in this old home, and once again, he just builds this kind of ghost story with tension and suspense and likable characters. And then he goes on to this found footage film called The Sacrament, where the poster wrecks it, and these movies hinge on suspense, and going into it, there's no suspense. And this is the first Ty West film where I felt that it went from A to B to C structure, and everything was, so spoiler, whatever, all the people in the cult kill themselves at the end. But this pastor, John will explain him better, like, it's a good performance, but the movie is not thought out. They feel like it's not up to Ty West standards at all. And I just felt like it was a run-of-the-mill C film.
Yeah, and so this film was based on the Jonestown Massacre of 1978, which is the reason that The Simpsons, any pop culture we've ever seen, makes reference to drinking the Kool-Aid, suggesting a mass suicide death. So that's this movie. Now, to be fair, I didn't see the movie poster or read that line, that spoiler, before I saw this. So I actually didn't get spoiled. So I'm watching this movie, and I didn't know about the Jonestown Massacre. So I'm watching this movie, and I got to point something out. Now, the middle scene is the scene that created this movie. That's where we see the we'll call him the pastor of them. He calls himself Father, the leader of this cult, where he kind of does this invited interview with a kind of an exposition news crew.
Yeah, Vice.
And he totally dominates the interview. He manipulates the interviewer into not getting his questions answered without even realizing it, as he goes into the reverie of almost a sermon-like talk that he's giving, and totally dancing around the questions while riling up the crowd. And this scene was amazing. This scene is the reason to still watch this movie, despite anything bad we're going to say about it or have said about it. It's fantastic.
Didn't you say the pastor was like a lizard? Didn't you say like it was a lizard rubbing his belly?
I said something sort of like that. I said that Father was so pleased with himself as he presented his sermon that he reminded me of a well-fed lizard warming its belly on a hot stone. Like, he reminded me of my friend's pet Savannah monitor in an aquarium.
Yeah, so I'm just watching. I'm watching this scene though, and I felt nothing. Like, I was sitting there eating, I don't know, Oreos. Probably not Oreos, popcorn, maybe both. Maybe I put the Oreos on the popcorn. I'm digressing, but so I'm watching this movie, and you just know, I don't know. I always kind of knew what was going to happen. Maybe I didn't like the found footage. So the whole time he was making that speech, I mean, I appreciated what he was doing, but it didn't have the personality. It didn't have the menace like that film Red State, which a lot of people have. And I don't know. It just felt so safe. Everything about it felt so familiar. And I guess that's why, because Ty West has not been familiar, and then to watch this is where it kind of hurt my soul.
Mark, you should have went with the Milano cookies instead of the Oreos.
On the popcorn?
Yeah,
it would have made for a better experience. You probably would have enjoyed the movie more.
So, well, no, I didn't have those cookies, but I've got to disagree with Mark. And there were some very polarized reviews online about this, and I think that. I think the beginning, which was pretty mediocre, kind of soured the taste of the middle for your mouth, and then the ending just spoiled anything that could have been salvageable for you. Whereas I just kind of focused in on that chunk of the movie, the interview scene, which was long. It was maybe 15 or 20 minutes, really. And I, just for what it was, I thought it was beautiful and well done. A lot of Amazon reviewers were behind me on that. But again, some people just spoiling the whole movie. And I had a big Twitter conversation. I really wish I could remember the tweeter who brought this up to me. I hope they send me an email or something if they actually listen to this. But someone had done an interview with Ty West at a film festival after they showed The Sacrament. And it was revealed by Ty West that that scene, the interview scene, was what Ty envisioned when he wanted to make this movie. And he thought up this scene first, and they filmed it before they filmed any of the other scenes.
That's great. You can tell that too, because it's such a strong part, and they just built it around that. And the less of it, like, it didn't really lack. There wasn't really a structure around that speech, right? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that scene just came out of nowhere, and there's a reason. It's like someone had a great idea. Unfortunately, like so many other great story ideas, you can't always synthesize a good story around it. And there are some things that fit better in books than movies for a good structural reason. I think this is a good example of that.
So this movie's kind of like Neapolitan ice cream, where you have the chocolate ice cream, it's kind of gross, but you get to the vanilla and it's great. And then you do the strawberry and it wrecks the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, you just give the strawberry to your grandmother, all of it. You just call it all out in the beginning.
See,
right?
I'm one of those guys that always just took like the chocolate or the strawberry. I just let the vanilla alone. Yeah, I'm that guy.
Well, that's like us in this movie, and it just, the end when it all goes wrong, like, it just happens, but you just see it coming, you feel it coming, and I guess I just had such a positive viewing with his other films, and I felt they were so original that maybe I reacted stronger to this because I just felt it was so run of the mill, and I felt like Ty West can contribute more to horror than found footage films about a monitor lizard rubbing his belly and having an entire village commit suicide.
Well, Mark, I want to ask
and
you.
I did. Oh, go ahead, John.
Mark, I wanted to ask you: was the fact that it was a found footage movie did that kind of affect your opinion? You think in any way?
No, I just think I thought Ty West could do something really original with it, and he didn't. So, I mean, there's found footage movies out there that I still really like, and I just don't know why he did that because, I don't know, Ebert said that he can even capture Hitchcock-type suspense, and that's really hard to do with this. And he just went into a movie where you knew exactly what was going to happen. And so it doesn't matter if it's found footage, 3D, cartoon, it just followed such an ABC structure, and the other films didn't. So that's why I like those.
Yeah, and despite squandering the ending, by the way, the finale was just soul-crushingly bad, in my opinion, anyway, and so much more minor than the actual event on which the movie is based, too. But despite the fact that that was squandered, I do want to suggest that people watch this movie. I think it's worth it for the middle. Just get on Netflix. Just go to the interview scene. You'll know it when you get to it. And just watch that and watch it by itself and appreciate it for what it is. Because if you just watch that out of the context of an ill-imagined first act, I think that you can really walk away knowing that Ty had a great vision for this movie. It's just, this isn't something that was designed to be in a movie, or at least not this movie.
Yeah, it was just based around, that idea.
But God, that Gene Jones did do such a good job, in my opinion. I think he owned that role. He had like 5 different personalities crammed into that linen outfit, his linen suit, and his sunglasses.
There was menace. He was like this Southern gentleman with menace, but then he seemed to have everything so thought out that it didn't seem believable to me that 3 pesky reporters would wreck it all for him.
That's true. When the shit hit the fan, it hit the industrial fan. Like it's like he gave up so fast, didn't he? It's like in Scooby-Doo. Like they take the mask off, and it's just like, oh well, those pesky kids caught me. Everyone drink your Kool-Aid.
Like if he got everybody out there to do that, I feel like he would have had a backup plan.
Yeah, I mean, in the movie, he gets everyone to relocate to South America after giving up all their worldly possessions. That's a hell of a task to get a couple hundred people to do. And then 3 reporters are getting a little pesky, and over the course of 2 days in the movie, and he can't just take care of them. There are people with guns in the movie that are his guards. He can just take care of them. He can just off them.
Boom.
All right, guys,
yeah, so he was good, but the cult in itself wasn't that good.
Yeah. So final consensus on the movie. It was kind of a disappointment, I guess it sounds like.
Yes.
For the sake of the third act, watching this movie is like watching a unicorn thrashing in a puddle of its own feces. You really hate the smell and feel badly seeing it, but you can still appreciate the beauty of the beast within.
Right.
Oh.
Okay.
And there's John's Pulitzer.
And by the way, folks, both Mark and I wrote our clearly polarized reviews on moviesfilmsandflicks.com, so please chime in and comment with your snarky comments.
All right, guys, speaking of disappointing movies, I know you guys wanted to talk about another movie, The Interview.
The Interview? I love The Interview.
Really?
Are you kidding me? I thought it was great.
Now we know where Lazarbath stands on that movie.
No,
Right.
you know what?
Okay.
It never was supposed to be this massive film. I think it's funny. I think it's this is the end. I think it's cheeky. I think it's a little... they definitely drank their own Kool-Aid. Not the pastor's Kool-Aid, but they drank their old Kool-Aid. But I liked it. I thought it was funny. I like how James Franco almost wrecked the mission because the CIA issued bag didn't have enough swag. I thought the finger biting was hilarious. I mean, I don't know. For some reason, those guys' movies sort of speak to me, and I feel like they're infinitely rewatchable, if not that good. But I don't think it was supposed to be the next comedy classic. I think it was just fun. I just had a really fun time with it.
The thing is, I didn't even think it was their best movie. I think it was.
It was one of their lower ones to me.
Yeah, if I had to rank it, I would put it somewhere below Pineapple Express. Really.
I'd put it above Pineapple Express, but I didn't like I was the one guy who didn't like Pineapple Express, I think.
See, Pineapple Express was kind of meh to me.
I would put Pineapple Express above The Interview. I love David Gordon Green. That guy, when he's not doing Your Highness or terrible movies, he's a good director. But I don't know. I just thought it was fun. I liked the plot. I liked, the insane scenes with Kim Jong Un, was that?
Yep.
Kim. Yeah. I loved. I don't know. You hate us because of anus, and James Franco kept making Lord of the Rings references. Like at one point, he goes to Seth Rogen. He's like, "Man, you're like Boromir." And then he's like, I don't even know who and then Seth Rogen's like, I don't even know who Boromir is. And then James Franco's like, that's such a Boromir thing to say. Like, it's funny. You got to watch it again. You got to take it out of the context of saving the world and causing democracy and just look at it as a stoner comedy with a couple idiots.
I thought there were like a lot of parts that were brilliantly funny. It's just that they seem to be like spikes on an otherwise kind of unexciting comedy for me. Like a lot of the jokes were fantastic, but I thought that I was going to be in for not quite old school, but I thought I was in for something really serious comedy wise, and I didn't quite get it. But the one thing that they did a fantastic job of for me, my reason to tell other people to see this movie is what they did with the who's the guy who played Kim Jong Un?
Randall Park.
Yeah.
From Veep. So he did a fantastic job of making a worldwidely despicable character likable. I mean, the faces, the smiles, and just the simplicity of the lines aside, he really owned that role so well. And my heart melted for that goofy character.
And he just wanted margaritas and some Katy Perry, and he was denied that.
Yeah, I know. And Franco asked him, it's like, so is it true that you don't poo? He's like, Mr. Skylark, I poo. I have a button. It works overtime. Wasn't that how the line goes?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
And it works overtime.
And like in the beginning, Franco does this whole thing, like, I'm going to wear a bulletproof vest and these Navy SEALs are going to rescue us. And he brings his whole plot out. And that's exactly how it plays out. Like it's fun. It's a good. It's rewatchable. I put on like Hot Tub Time Machine level where I could just put those on at any time and love them.
I will say I did get a chuckle out of that bedroom scene. I think do you guys remember that?
Oh, you're like a big furry animal.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he had the ricin strip on his hand and he couldn't put it on her.
Yeah. That made me laugh.
I'm not going to advise anyone to put it to the top of their Netflix queue, but I'm going to say, save it, watch it eventually. I think it's worth it.
I think
put it ahead of the. The Sacrament and Interview both had interviews.
They did both have interviews, and the interview was not the whole movie in both of them. Whoa,
we're getting to the bottom of things here on movies, films, and flicks.
But where's Kurt Russell at the bottom of this haystack?
Hey, can we put that on the movie poster? Like, hey. They both had interviews in them.
Well, I've got an idea. Why don't we take a quick commercial break to figure out where Kurt Russell stands in all this?
He's all around us, John. He's all around us.
Hey guys, John here from Movies, Films, and Flicks, here to tell you about a special offer from Audible. Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. With over 150,000 titles to choose from, it can be a little daunting to figure out which book to listen to. So might I suggest The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. You might have heard this book recently. There might be a movie about it, but why would you want to watch a movie when you can listen to the book? It's the same thing. It's just not as flashy or as bright, or doesn't require a trip to the movie theater. Anyway, to download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/shark. Again, that's audibletrial.com/shark for your free audiobook.
Kurt. Russell. I'll tell you one thing. Kurt Russell's never been in a overly looked film.
Oh, guys, we're recording now. We're back from commercial break. That's actually...
Oh, hey.
That's what we do when we're not recording. We just talk about Kurt Russell.
Mark just blacked out and started mumbling about Kurt Russell.
I did an old school thing right there. I wrote fan fiction about him running with Kim Jong Un on his back, chariots of fire style, on the beaches of Thailand.
That's a very hyped up moment there.
All right. We can't keep talking about Kurt Russell. The audience isn't here for that.
I don't even know where that Kurt Russellism came from. That was a random, like, spontaneous Kurt Russellism.
Right. All right,
That's
guys,
what we do at movies, films, and flicks.
I think what I wanted to talk about, it kind of segues from our discussion about the interview. I want to talk about kind of hype, I guess overhyped movies like the interview. Basically, what do we think about? Well, specifically the interview first. What do we think about all the hype that was surrounding the interview before it came out?
So I know that there's all this stuff about hackers and then threats about releasing the movie and honestly, like I'm in the camp of people who doesn't really buy it. I guess I don't want to get too into it because I don't want a threat from North Korea. But if North Koreans are listening to us right now, I think that this was a strategy to overhype a movie that really wasn't as great maybe as they thought it would turn out to be. Even though I enjoyed it, I'm just saying I think that this was an overhype campaign, and I don't know how you would save money doing this, but that's how I view this. I don't know, Mark. Do you have an opinion on that kind of advertising campaign and the shift that it took with the now it won't go in theaters? It's just going to Netflix?
I just think it was a product of the 24-hour news cycle. And I know a lot of people throw that word out there. I just think it picked up. It had steam. There was the hacking threats. We had Sony going on. Sony released it. They had the email hacks. That was big business at a time. And I think it all just kind of came cascading down. And I think this is not the film that deserved that kind of reaction. Right. I don't think it ever really wanted to be that. I think films that are hyped like this very rarely live up to that. Yeah. What do you think back Dogma by Kevin Smith? These films get all this pre-movie hype, and then people watch them and they're like, oh yeah, they were all right. Like it just didn't. I don't know. It's been a fun experiment because now we know what happens with those threats. They released it. We know that people rallied to go see it in theaters. We know that Netflix picked it up. So I think if anything, it was just a fun experiment to see the new platform and downloading and what people will do. So if anything, I'm almost happy that this happened because it shows us a step up in what's going to happen in the future with filmmaking. Right.
Well, and interesting to see like the first ever direct-to-video film with so many big actors that wasn't a micro-budget film.
Well, I think I wanted to ask you guys specifically is, hypothetically speaking, if this movie just released as normal, no hype, do you think your reaction to the movie would have been different?
I think my expectations would have been lower, and I would have been at least as equally pleased, if not more.
Okay.
So I would have loved it because the Rotten Tomato score wasn't high. I think I just would have enjoyed it. There would have been a lot less subtext or a lot less news, and you could have actually just enjoyed the film.
Yeah, same for me.
So basically, the hype surrounding this movie just kind of raised the expectations. It's just not really fair to the movie because it's not. It's just like another James Franco, Seth Rogen movie, just snore comedy. I don't know. I feel like if I probably would have enjoyed the movie more if I wasn't bombarded with all this news about the interview. I'm just like, okay, I guess I have to see this.
It got me excited. It did. It made me want to see it more and more and more. It's just, I mean, for me, I guess I created unrealistic expectations as a result of that. And I guess that's the natural process unless someone really is bringing you sliced bread for the first time.
Well, it was different for me. It was kind of the opposite because when I first heard about the movie, this is way before the North Korea thing. But when I first heard that James Franco and Seth Rogen were making a movie about interviewing Kim Jong-un, I was like, oh, that's amazing. But then all this kind of hoopla happened. I'm just like, all right, I'm just kind of over this now. I just want to get
I'm sick of it. I don't even want to watch it.
I think expectations and a lot of those and hype really don't help films. Like if you think Nicholas Winding Refn made Drive, and then his next movie out, Only God Forgives, everybody hated it. But if that movie came out before Drive, it would have gotten a decent critical reaction. I just think it's expectations, and like that movie Annabelle that just came out. I think it was a really stupid move by the directors to make that film because they were running on the hype of The Conjuring, which is a awesome horror film. I mean, John is the horror Leviathan. who rides surfboards while watching Hellraiser Hellbound on a portable DVD player while surfing, and he loved it. So I just think, I don't think expectations help at all.
Yeah, I mean, they had that tagline for months and months before Annabelle was released. You know, for the little spoiler or the little teaser, it would be before The Conjuring, there was Annabelle. And so everyone's just directly associating it with the awesomeness of The Conjuring and letting it ride its coattails before it's even come out.
But Annabelle's about that evil doll in the cold open of The Conjuring, and they took a spin-off and made it about this doll. But they made it so poorly that it wrecked the brand. And I actually looked into it, and the guy who directed it was the director of photography on Insidious, Insidious 2, Conjuring, Tales from the Crypt, Hot Shots Part 2, Mortal Kombat, Dead Silence, Death Sentence. A lot of those are James Wan's films, so he's kind of James Wan's boy. So he let him direct this movie, but I think that was a mistake. Because the guy who directed Annabelle, John Leonetti, he also directed Mortal Kombat Annihilation, which is one of the worst films I've ever seen. And he did the Butterfly Effect 2. Butterfly Effect 2. So this guy is not a good hand at directing. Sure, he can make a movie look good, but it's all empty calories. I mean, you can have a movie look good, but that doll makes no sense. Like, there's a scene in the film where this woman, their house is haunted, so they moved to this they moved to this apartment complex. And as she's walking up all the steps, there's a drawing, like sick drawings on each step as she goes up. Like, who did Annabelle do crayons and like sit on her little knees, a little doll, and draw these and then place them there? Did no one notice this? Like, it's not thought out. And it's a bunch of jump scares, and that's it. And it just had the worst cult. They had a bunch of like screaming feral women cult who are terrible. If it would have been like a Rosemary's Baby cult or like a Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene cult, I would have loved that a lot more. But the whole movie was just so inept. And it put my soul in a headlock, threw it in the Sarlacc pit.
Can we talk about souls and this doll for a minute? Let's not even get into the plot at the moment. There's an evil doll in the movie, right? This is an evil doll movie. These movies should make themselves because it's an evil doll and those things are creepy as hell. But the movie didn't work. But from the start, from the moment we get Annabelle when this cultist who's trying to make a sacrifice of somebody else dies. Obviously, she didn't plan on dying. While she's trying to kill someone else in their home as a part of some kind of cult sacrifice, right? She dies. The Annabelle doll randomly falls in her lap. It had nothing to do with their sacrifice plans. And a drop of this cultist blood falls on Annabelle. Now, later in the movie, we see visions of this dead cultist woman, like her ghost, running at our protagonist, who, by the way, I didn't root for throughout the whole movie.
Oh, they're bland. Suck. They're blank slates.
Totally forgettable characters. Remembered no names, right?
Yep.
And but so you see these visions of this ghost of this cultist. Well, then later in the movie, they're referring to the fact that this otherworldly demon only wants a soul, and it can only get a soul from someone, who can offer it or whatever. Well, all of a sudden now it's an otherworldly demon and not the spirit of this cultist who died. It's what exactly is Annabelle? I mean, people say, like, what is your motivation? I don't even know what Annabelle is. Is she a possessed doll? Is it a demon? Is it possessed by the spirit of this woman? Was that a part? What was the cult ritual that they even wanted to do? I don't know what's going on with this movie.
See, this is why I answered the first question with Sarlacc. If I said Annabelle, like, I would just be like too confused. Like, what do I do? If I was just a Sarlacc, I'm just there. I'm just eating. That's all I do.
It's a simple life.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about this attack on the most bland family in the history of the planet. So, like, the guy reminded me of Captain Austin from Truck, but like with no personality. But so here's how it is. This couple wakes up because they hear screaming in the house next to them. Right? They hear screaming, and so the guy goes to check it out, leaving the woman alone. And this woman, a cult woman, sneaks in without even being heard and goes after the pregnant wife because the husband's outside. But then I got thinking, why did they have to kill the neighbors when they could have sneaked into their house really quiet while they were sleeping? They wouldn't have heard them because they didn't hear the people come into the house. So that whole scene next door was unnecessary. So none of it was thought out. It was just meant to, like, one of these days I want to make a movie where it's just a guy walking through a cemetery and, like, he walks into a branch and goes, and then a cat jumps out and he goes, and then, like, something comes out from the ground and he goes, and then another thing comes out from the ground, and then he turns around, there's the groundkeeper, and he goes, like, that's the whole movie, and just call it jump scare.
Is it a found footage movie?
What?
Is it a found footage movie?
Yes, it's a found footage movie. And the name of it is but
before The Conjuring, there were lame horror stories that weren't told well by inept writers and directors.
And you know what I hate, though? They just kept it in the family, and James Wan let his boy direct it, who did the DP. And the guy can shoot a beautiful film. We've seen that. But I don't know what they were thinking with this film, because you don't build a great brand and then do this. Like, it's like the Avengers. They go and they do a spinoff of Jeff Bridges' character from Iron Man, where he just kind of walks around and eats cheeseburgers. Like, you don't want to. That's an amazing example. The one thing I grabbed from all the Avengers movies sounds beautiful, but you're right. Is it an evil doll? And then there's a scene where the doll falls down next to the bed, and it's like, if this doll can walk like that, why does it have to drop? Can't it like squat down and be like, "I got you now"? Like, and it's like AVP. How do you mess up an evil doll movie? Like, just put the camera on the evil doll for 90 minutes, and I'd be more scared.
This entire film was incompetently architected, and they used such inexperienced actors, and maybe it was the combination of the direction, the writing, and the actors, but nothing in this film worked except for maybe the basement scene, and that scene only works in the context of knowing nothing else about the movie, not knowing about this evil doll and what's possessing it and what's its motivation, because that scene was chilling, I thought, with the random baby carriage that appeared and all that crap. But other than that scene, that those 4 minutes, I thought that this entire movie was an offensive failure that just relied on our trust in James Wan as a horror craftsman.
How do these cult people travel? Like, they're just feral animals, basically, and they just go, bah, 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 bah. Like, when they get into a taxi cab, are they like, bah?
Maybe they get a group deal from Greyhound.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know.
I mean, like, it's the most unintelligible. Like, I don't know, when covens become feral, I lose attention. Like, but then if you think about the Satanists from Rosemary's Baby, like, they were scary. Like, why not have yuppie? Scary. Yeah, I mean, they were sneaky, they were crazy, and it ended with a laugh. Like, why you don't need feral cult members like the Paranormal Activity ladies, and it's just a bunch of flim flam gobbledygook garbage fail movies.
Garbage fail.
So you guys, it sounds like you guys aren't really recommending this movie.
No.
I really don't think it matters what kind of horror fan you are either. Whether you grew up with serious slashers, The Conjuring itself, classic Hammer releases, or 80s slapstick gore fests, I think that everyone should be displeased with this, unless you're so green to the horror genre that a few jump scares and a randomly appearing baby carriage are going to make a movie for you.
Right.
This movie should be called
Okay, so Conjuring, good. Prequel, bad. Sequel? Question mark. We'll see.
Well, the sequel's going to have the Warrens back. It's going to have our real stars back.
Yeah, it's going to have James Wan back, and of course they're going to do another cold open. Cold opens where, like, the James Bond films just tell a story in the beginning, like Annabelle did in The Conjuring. They'll probably do another one of those, which will make another terrible spinoff. But then Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga will be great. I love those two characters. You don't need to water it down.
Right.
You know what I want to see in The Conjuring 2? I want to see the Hellbound Hellraiser puzzle box on one of their shelves in their room, and then James Wan comes and does the remake of Hellraiser. That's what I want to see happen.
Can they find it while surfing in Hawaii?
I can find it while surfing in Hawaii, watching my portable DVD player. Why I don't have like an iPad, I don't know.
No,
I don't know why I'm still going around with a portable DVD player. Those things weigh pounds.
Just not how the horror Leviathan rolls.
It would throw the balance of my surfing off.
Right. So I think Hellraiser in Hawaii is a good place to wrap up this podcast, right, guys?
Aloha bound Hellraiser.
So what? We started off with Sarlacc?
Wait, could they call it Hello-ha?
I get it.
Hello-ha.
I get it. All right, guys. Let's do plugs real quick, because that's something I always forget to do. As always, you can check out moviesfilmsandflicks.com. It's not just a podcast, it's also a website. It's a very good website. Anchored, or authored. What's a good word? Blogged? What do I say here? What do I call you guys? Bloggers or?
We're just a couple of enthusiastic cinemaphiles writing our word vomit as it comes to us and sharing it with the world.
Right.
And one thing, we write about what we love. We don't have time to keep up with all the new reviews. So a lot of the stuff we post are ideas that come to us between conversations, something funny that we come up with. So I do think there's a wealth of random, cheeky, fun. I did a post the other day about analyzing Nicholas Sparks movie posters. It's just a fun place to come by. Check us out. We'd love to have you.
Every third article is about Kurt Russell. There you go. As always, also check out chartjumper.com. If you like this podcast, check out our other podcasts. Also check out our Patreon page. And all right, guys, any final thoughts before we say goodbye?
Kurt. Russell.
All right, guys. I've been your host, John Losva. For my co-hosts, John Lovegood and Mark Hoffmeyer. We'll see you.
Peace out.
Above the target. T-minus 5 seconds till shark drop. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the shark! Go! Go! Go!
This podcast is a Shark Dropper Studios production.